So, my name is David Bolhuis and I work for a company called Belu Natural Mineral Water. We are a roughly £5 million turnover bottled water, natural mineral water company operating in a large £1.6 billion pound market, which is at the moment growing roughly at 13% year on year. What we're focusing on is the drivers of our business are around sustainability and social impact, and that's why I'm going to have a quick tour of what we do and what our biggest impact drivers are. So this market that I'm talking about is as you well know, is dominated by some very well-known brands, some very well-known foreign brands. And within that market, we wanted to make a difference because we think that the water is an incredibly simple product, obviously, and we thought if we can demonstrate to make a change for good in that very simple space, people might catch on to that message really quickly. How we do that is by offering a different proposition to the customer, and we call that proposition Made with Mineral Water and Ethics. Now, ethics is a big word, and I hear you thinking, well, what do you mean with that? And I'm going to make it very clear what we mean with that. It's really two drivers: environment and charity. What that makes us is a social enterprise. And can you please give me a show of hands of who knows what social enterprise stands for? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Well, in that case, I've got, for those other people, I've got a short video which will explain roughly the premise.
Imagine your money could really mean change. Social enterprises are businesses that reinvest their profits. They put people and planet first. From caring for children in developing countries to supporting the communities we're part of. Buying from social enterprises takes your spending much further. What we buy can educate, nurture and empower, providing solutions to some of the world's greatest challenges. Whether it's reducing food waste, supplying clean, safe water, producing affordable green energy, or getting people back into employment. At work or at play, there is a social enterprise for just about everything. There are more than 70,000 in the UK, led and supported by inspiring people all over the country, including some familiar faces. Join the revolution, buy social, and unleash your spending power.
Good. So that sets the tone of social enterprise. So we are a company that needs to be as successful as all the other companies here in the room and at the exhibition. We are striving to make a profit. We strive to be sustainable, commercially sustainable in ourselves. But in doing so, we do a few things differently that drive our mission. So I'm going to talk about 3 key projects in the environmental space, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about our charity partnership with WaterAid. We are a carbon neutral company. I'll talk a little bit later about our carbon neutral footprint, how it's built up. But our hotspot is in packaging. 71% roughly of our carbon footprint is in packaging and in the manufacture of our packaging. So our biggest case studies and changes are made in packaging. So here, ethical glass, we call it. It's new glass bottles that we developed together with Owens, Illinois, 18% lighter. Something we experienced was happening over the course of a couple of years of using glass bottles is that the molds in which these bottles are made, they grow every time they're cleaned after a production cycle. They slightly grow, and the glass in that mold becomes heavier and heavier. Something that is hardly monitored. It's something that you don't get charged for, but it's something that somebody had to put a stop to. So we spoke to people and we designed a mold that was 80% lighter. And we thought, well, that's fantastic. That is obviously something we need to talk about. And in fact, we submitted it to the 2 Degrees Awards, and we were successful. I'm really pleased. But we thought we can't keep this to ourselves. So we're now, selling this through our partners to everyone who uses these bottles for natural mineral water and juices. And so we're trying to have an impact on the sector as a whole. Green glass is a fantastic and beautiful material. We had the presentation from NSERC. They make our green glass bottles, and 80% recycled content. So 80% old glass going into new glass. A fantastic business case that we built with the people from Zizi's restaurant, who asked us to give them a UK-sourced, a charity product that was carbon neutral, and that had this story that ultimately comes from the REP initiative around using more green glass for products that are where the consumer is easily acceptable of change. White wine, spirits, and water. And it's been a real success story. Plastic. We are the only UK water brand that uses a recycled content of 50% post-consumer recycled plastic in their water bottles. It's something that we're passionate about because we feel that when we choose our packaging materials, we want to choose the best available material that is currently available, makes a product that is available to every market, so at a price that we can sell it successfully, growing very fast. This is our fastest growing line, and delivers a 31% carbon saving over 100% virgin PET equivalents. And this is a really a nice example of where we as a business choose to invest in these sorts of packaging materials, because actually rPET is more expensive to buy than new virgin PET. So it's a choice that we consciously make, and that's what we see as an investment in our environmental footprint. So when we talk about our environmental footprint, we don't only talk about our business travel, our offices, but we work with supply partners, and we work with co-packers, and we measure our footprint across the entire supply chain. So we reduce our carbon footprint, and then we offset our carbon footprint, and that is how we get to a statement of carbon neutrality. It's a philosophical statement more than anything, because obviously we realize that carbon neutrality doesn't exist in that sense. But what it does do is it focuses our thinking around the impact and the hotspots of carbon, and we're gonna try and broaden that remit. What that means for us is, the carbon footprint of the glass, the plastic that we use, the energy used at filling stage, the distribution, the storage. Office is an incredibly small amount of that, and also the refrigeration in restaurants, retail, and the end of life. We take all of that and we put that to one figure of grams per product litre sold. And since 2010, we have been pretty successful. We have managed to, through the previously mentioned projects, reduce that year on year by now minus 29% from a 2010 baseline. So that is what is going on the inside of our company. That is what drives us to make this product slightly different than equivalent products that are out there. That doesn't necessarily mean that that is also the message the consumer gets. For us, it's really clear and very important that when you face the consumer, you need to first, and it's mentioned before, you need to be relevant, and you need to give them a product that they actually want to use at a price point that they also can use it. So we try, for instance, not to charge more for the story that we bring. We position it as a beautiful brand. Our core market is the hotel, restaurant, and catering market, fine dining. And I am sure we're too small to spend lots of money on, but we've seen some consumer insight that people like to buy from companies that have a social purpose or a CSR agenda. As you can see, we don't brand ourselves necessarily as such. We have our short story on the back, but I'm sure that you all know that by the time that you're actually to reading the back label of your bottled water, you're probably very bored. So that's not something that is, a front of pack for us. We make sure that we're relevant to the market that we sit in, and that is because we carry their stories. So some of the people that serve our product is Rick Stein, Raymond Blanc, Jamie Oliver. They all like to associate with products in their supply chain that have a story to tell, that have, thought about how it's made, and ultimately also what we do with our profits. So I've spoken about the environmental side. What makes us a social enterprise also is that we give all our profits away. That is more of a statement than that we think that all businesses should be like that, because all the partners, all our suppliers, they are simply profit-making businesses. We are a profit-making business, but at the end of the year, we decide to hand that over to WaterAid. WaterAid, the UK's largest water charity, obviously working towards 2030 target of trying to eliminate water poverty. Water poverty is seen not only as a problem around actually having clean water to drink, but it's also around hygiene, sanitation, and education. We have a partnership with WaterAid till 2020 with a pledge to raise £1 million. I'm very pleased that since 2011 we are already on a target of to date £614,000. So we're well on our way to breaking that probably already next year. So that gives us the combination of environment and charity, and that gives the product a really nice sort of 360-degree story around the water, delivering the water. The next video that I'm going to show, I want to have a quick show of hands of who's got a washing machine at home. Good. Okay, the majority. I'm going to show you this video and just to put into context what living without clean water means. And it's there to just that time it's being spent here is something that you can hopefully put into context as what we're all sustainability professionals here. Is the time that we have spare, hopefully we can put to use to putting some of the fantastic stories that we heard today to use in our own businesses. So that's where the dirty water goes.
Yeah.
Now you're going to get some clean water?
Yeah. Now you have.
Oh, and you wash it again?
Yeah, if you're working.
Very good.
Wow, how quickly that is dirty again.
Yeah. This is dirty.
And she just washed that, didn't she?
Yeah.
So this is the second time you wash it?
Should go for third time, fourth time, until it gets clean. Because the water has to be clean at last, clear water.
Yeah. So you wash it 3 times?
Yeah.
4 times?
4 times, even more. So.
And by the time you're finished, your children will come back with more dirty clothes.
Yes, she all dirty. This is some dirty.
We weren't talking about you. Okay, Galatamo. Galatoma. Galatoma.
I can finish up my own. As you can see, we don't have Heineken's budgets for video, but it's shot by myself, and it's just a very good example that in that 3 minutes you were watching, 2 shirts get washed, and obviously let's hope that we can use our time for bringing more fruitful plants to the fore. Thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you, David.